Welcome to my analysis and review of the Greaser Dog steel bone scene from the TV show CatDog. As I mentioned in an earlier review of CatDog, about 3 years ago, I watched several episodes of the show as a child and I always enjoyed it. That's because I find the concept really creative, interesting and unique, but also because the episodes are full of action, adventure and humor. Just so you know, I am not a big expert when it comes to the series characters or lore. You will hear that in the review, where I refer to the Greaser Dogs as a group of thieves. I actually recorded the review before this intro, and while they are trying to steal a bone in the scene, a real fan would just have called them by name. Lesson learned and thanks for understanding. So this time I watched the episode Siege on Fort CatDog from season 1, and one particular scene really stuck with me. It has the perfect mix of humor, tension and action. As I just said, it's the scene where the Greaser Dogs try to steal a bone. I will now show you exactly which scene I mean, and afterwards I will give you my personal review where I will explain what makes it such a great moment in my opinion.
Please, dog, just give it to them.
No way, Cat! I am not giving up this perfectly broken-in bone!
Use 2 is cruising for a double bruising!
We'll be right there. One dog bone coming up.
Never!
Give up the bone, dog. They're not gonna leave until they get it.
Oh, yeah? Well, they're gonna get it all right!
Haha, the scene was just so much fun to watch. What makes it so great for me is really how it begins. Dog is doing everything he can to stop a group of thieves from stealing his bone, even going so far as to board up his own front door. Cat, clearly panicking, says, "Please Dog, just give it to them." But Dog replies, "No way Cat, I am not giving up this perfectly broken in bone." And honestly, I already really liked the scene at that point, for several different reasons. First of all, there is a real sense of tension and danger. These thieves are determined to get Dog's bone and they won't back off. It starts out on the street, but even after CatDog goes inside, the group stays outside still trying to get the bone and not giving up. I always enjoy scenes with this kind of suspense, where you find yourself on the edge of your seat, curious to see how things will turn out. But besides the tension, it's also genuinely funny. I mean, who gets this worked up over a single dog bone? I understand that dogs love food, and even one bone can feel very special to them, but for a war group to just stand outside refusing to leave until they get it, that's just over the top, and that's what makes it so funny. Especially since this is a show where animal characters talk and behave like humans. It made everything feel even more over the top and hilarious, which I really enjoyed. And the fact that Dog is completely committed to protecting the bone while the group is trying to steal it turns it into a kind of cat and mouse game. From Dog's point of view though, I totally get it. It's his bone and the group has no right to it. So Dog boarding up the front door might seem a bit extreme, but that's exactly what makes it funny. I laughed so hard when I saw him hammering the door shut. Still, when you think about it, it actually makes sense. If a group with bad intentions is coming after you, they could do anything. Smash windows, kick down doors, or worse. So even though it's hilarious because it's just about one silly bone, the reasoning behind it is still understandable. And that's what makes it so great. The dramatic reaction to such a small problem is exactly what makes it so funny. Dog's line, "I am not giving up this perfectly broken in bone," adds even more to that. It's not just any bone, It's chewed just the way he likes it. That's such a classic dog mindset, and it makes the situation even funnier. It's like the entire world depends on who ends up with this one bone. Meanwhile, Cat wants to play it safe. He would rather give up the bone than let things get out of control, and I understand that too. When you're dealing with a group like that, going for the de-escalating option can feel safer. Dog's way makes more sense to me, but Cat's fear is completely understandable. It's a very human reaction, or I should say a very cat reaction. Then the group says, "You two is cruising for a double bruising," and at that moment things get even more serious. Cat panics, runs upstairs to the balcony and shouts, "One dog bone coming up." What I really liked about this part is how Cat says it. So cheerful, like he's selling the bone, instead of just giving in to avoid a fight. That happy over the top delivery adds this fun and playful energy to the moment that really works. Cat then jumps down to hand over the bone, but Dog grabs it back just in time. He still completely disagrees with Cat's plan to give it away. So Cat ends up standing there in front of the group with nothing. That's where he starts laughing nervously, and then the fight breaks out. There is where the tension hits its peak. You only see Dog hanging onto the balcony above, still holding onto his precious bone, while in the background Cat's fur is flying through the air. You don't even see exactly what's happening or whether Cat is okay, and that makes the moment even more intense. At this point, I was fully caught up in the moment. Then Cat comes back to the balcony, completely shaken and even more anxious than before. He begs Dog again to give them the bone, because the group is not gonna leave until they get it. Instead of backing down, Dog becomes even more determined. And honestly, that gave me a real burst of energy as a viewer, because now the scene really shifts into action. Before this it was all tension, threat and humor, but here real action kicks in. And that's what made the scene complete for me. The scene continues after this, but this part is definitely my favorite. Because of everything I've just described, the mix of humor, tension and action, and the way each element is timed perfectly, this scene really stands out to me. It's just so well done, so I really want to give my compliments to the creators. You did an amazing job with this one.